Hello and welcome at Value Investing, where we try to estimate the intrinsic value of different companies. As we got big news from WP Carey and their announcement of the strategic plan to exit office, we will have a look at WP Carey in this video today. But first, the usual disclaimer: this is no financial advice and just my personal opinion. And now, let's hop right into the video. WP Carey is down around 27% over the last year and has dropped quite a lot in the last few days due to their announcement of the exit strategy. The dividend yield of around 7.4% is not really accurate anymore, as I will explain in this video, because they will reset their dividend payout strategy. Now let's have a look at what their actual plan is. If we put it simply, they want to spin off all of their office properties. They presented a strategic two-step plan where the first plan includes spinning off the shares into a new company called Net Lease Office Properties. This is the first step. And in the second step, they sell out the remaining office properties. In short, not all properties will go into their new company. You can also see here they will reset their dividend policy, targeting a pro forma AFFO payout ratio of around 70 to 75%. Having a short look at their current payout ratio for the trailing 12 months, it's around 80%, so they will reduce their dividend. Having a look at their current portfolio, we can see on the left part here that around 16% of their portfolio and also ABR are coming from the office properties. For the spin-off, they will move around 10% of the office properties into their new stock company, NLOP. This is the first step. And in the second step, they will sell the remaining 6% of these office properties and reuse this capital for either new acquisitions or debt down payment. It's a bit surprising that they do the spin out this fast. But it is not really new that they try to exit the office exposure. So we can see in 2015, they had like 30% of ABR coming from office, and they have reduced it around 5% up to 2018. And now until today, they even reduced it another 9%. And they want to completely exit it with their announcement, which is, from my point of view, not a bad move. And they also claim that their office exposure is like an anchor to them. It's holding them back. They also stated that they expect a better net lease price to AFFO multiple after this office spin-off. And they also increase the WALT from 11.2 years to 11.9 years. One thing which we will see in the valuation is that they didn't really have proper growth in the last few years, and I think it's a good move to spin out the offices. Let's have a look at WP Carey with the stock valuation tool, and I have plugged in all the values as if they have already sold out or spin off their office structure to get a rough idea how this will impact the company. Please keep in mind here the data on the left, which is fetched automatically and showing a dividend yield of around 7.4% is not really accurate anymore, as they will reduce the dividend. Now let's have a look at the multiples valuation based on the AFFO, where I have used Stag Industrial, Broadstone, Realty Income and NNN REIT as a comparable company. I've calculated the price to AFFO multiple for all those companies, averaged them together, calculated the intrinsic value for WP Carey based on the AFFO multiple, and an adjusted AFFO per share for WP Carey. I've adjusted it by just reducing it simply by 16%. This is a rough estimate. Coming back to their presentation, they will remove around 16% of their properties based on the ABR. I assume this is more or less a worst case estimate. So I've reduced the AFFO per share by 16. And with this, we get an intrinsic value of around $58. Now let's have a look at the dividend discount model, where I've plugged in all the values and also adjusted the value for 2023, where I as well reduced the dividend growth rate by 16%, same as for the AFFO. And I have calculated the average growth rate excluding 2023. And here we can also see that the growth rate is going down drastically in the last few years. So in 2015 we had around 4%, in 2020 we had 0.77 and not really recovering. So I can understand why they think they have to do something in order to have a healthy growth rate. Basically, resetting the dividend is probably not the move which shareholders like the most, but it might be a good one now. I have projected the average growth rate as well for the future now, and we get an intrinsic value of around $54. One thing to also keep in mind are the outstanding shares for WP Carey, and as usual for a REIT, they are diluting their shares, as this is one of their methods to get capital for new acquisitions, and basically they have diluted their shares since 2012 rather heavily, which is not uncommon for REITs, but just to keep in mind. Now let's have a look at the output tab, where we average the multiples valuation, the dividend discount model together. As usual for REITs, we are not using Graham's valuation or discounted cash flow analysis, as those are not applicable. And we come to an intrinsic value of around $56, which is almost the current trading price of around $57. Please keep in mind, this valuation currently is already assuming that the office buildings are completely removed from their portfolio. So if you're a shareholder right now, or even buying in right now, you would get on top the office structures and even the shares from the new stock company. I'm not fully aware when the transaction will go through. They said about 1st of November, so if you are a shareholder before that, you probably will receive shares of the NLOP company. This already gives you some sort of margin of safety currently if you're a shareholder or if you even want to buy in. I would be interested what you think about this company. And also going forward, I think it's a rather good move to spin off the office structure and maybe even pay down some debt with that spin-off and sales program. As usual, this is no financial advice and just my personal opinion. I would be really happy if you would comment down below and like and subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you for watching.